I will call to order the Personnel Policy Curriculum Committee meeting, which was duly noticed on May 30th, 2025, through posting and notification of the press in accordance with Wisconsin 19.84. Notice is hereby given that school board members who are not members of this committee may attend the meeting so as to constitute a quorum of the Board of Education. Any such board member attendance will be for information gathering only and will not result in direct decision-making by the Board of Education at the committee meeting. Moving right to safety message. Today is a perfect day for some heat safety. So as we're now making the switch from warm to hot weather, it's important to take time to review tips for staying safe in the heat. Obviously, wear sunscreen, drink plenty of water, limit alcoholic beverages, dress in loose-fitting, lightweight, and light-colored clothing, limit exercise outdoors in extreme heat, protect your face and head by wearing a wide-brimmed hat, never leave children or pets alone in vehicles, and also know the symptoms of heat stroke and call 911 if you or someone are experiencing high body temperatures of 105 plus, hot, red, or dry skin, rapid, weak pulse, rapid, shallow breathing, not sweating, and or unconscious, which, you know, you wouldn't be calling yourself, for yourself. But one other thing I want to say is just talking about car safety. And, you know, this is the time where I'm always like, I go to a parking lot to store and I see cars or I see pets in a car and I get really nervous. So just for, you know, everyone to keep in mind, it's nice weather and you may be tempted to take your pet with you in the car while you travel to do errands, but during warm weather, the inside of your car can reach 120 degrees in a matter of minutes, even if you're parked in the shade. And that can mean real trouble for your companion animal left in the car, and obviously that would apply for children as well. There's something that I had read that I wanted to share with you, that the temperature inside your vehicle can rise about 20 degrees Fahrenheit in just 10 minutes. So it might not seem so hot, but it can rise really, really fast, and almost 30 degrees in 20 minutes. So the longer you wait, the higher the temperature will climb. At 1 hour, your vehicle's interior temperature can be more than 40 degrees higher than the outside temperature. And even on a 70-degree day, that's more than 110 degrees inside your vehicle. So I know that I've read things about like 70 degree is the cutoff point for letting your, you know, animal be in the car, but like even at that, 70 could be way too hot. So just keep those things in mind, and you can always alert authorities or if you're at a store to call attention to that. So not fun topics, but I think it's good to just remember, because sometimes, especially with fluctuating weather, it can be cooler one day and all of a sudden get much hotter. Moving on, I need a motion to adopt the June 2nd, 2025 agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Any questions? Let's vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. All right, that motion passes. Wonderful. Okay, now we are moving on to the presentation of work-based learning by Chris Medenwalt and Aaron O'Leary. Welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners. Aaron and I are going to split this up a little bit. I'm going to talk a little about some of the work we've done, work-based learning, really kind of broad overview. And then Aaron will talk more specifically about some of the things she's done. However, I did go to the bank drive-thru, and my dog is very clear what happens at the bank drive-thru. He definitely gets a treat, and he is very excited at the bank drive-thru. So I think bank drive-thrus are fine with pets, right? Because you don't get out. So just saying. Okay. If you remember, a few months ago, we presented on ninth grade conferencing, and ninth grade conferencing is born out of really some of the work that was done on this slide. Is we got a group together in April of 2024 to talk about current state of work-based learning. Aaron was heavily involved in that, and we discussed a variety of things. And so you heard about one of the things that came out of there was ninth grade conferencing. But we did have some conversations about academic and career planning and what that looks like. And I just want to give a really brief kind of look at some of the discussions we had, and we talked about these 4 areas of the difference between exploring a career and getting all the way to having career experience, and what would happen at different levels, and what needs to happen in this district, and a little bit of what are we currently doing, what would we like to do, what would be our dream, what's actually doable, what do we have time for, what do we have the resources allocated for. I'm not going to read these to you, but really the difference in exploring and learning about a career and then having some firsthand knowledge and experience doing it. And we talk about this frequently when we get into things like work-based learning and experiential learning. Reading a book about mowing the lawn is not mowing the lawn, right? Those are two very different things. And that's one of the things that we aspire to do in the district, and it's one of the reasons that we have Erin's position is to allow us for kids to, for lack of a better term, mow the lawn. What those look like, career exploration, a lot of things of learning about in class. And then getting into some of the things that Erin does, right? We might have some job shadowing experience or might have going out on some tours. Erin's going to touch base. You're all very familiar with Craftsman of Character and doing some things that way. And then getting to the YA options and the co-op options and eventually leading to, as students leave us and get into college, things that could lead to apprenticeships and those sorts of things. And again, another way to look at it is taking our students through the path of learning about work and learning through work and learning at work. And in education, we often talk about students will be interested in getting into education sometimes as early as elementary school, right? They admire their teachers, say, I want to be a teacher one day, and they go through and they get to high school and maybe they'll take some classes and maybe we'll help and get them some experience in education. They'll take some psychology classes. And maybe they'll get an opportunity to work in some classrooms, so they're learning through work of, well, what's it really like to be a teacher? And then you learn at work, and then you become a teacher, and like, well, that's a different learning experience, right? All the things everybody said it would be like, all the experiences I had were one thing, and then eventually you learn at work and you learn on the job. And so it's just that experience of how do you learn through work. Another slide I won't read to you, but it's one of the things that we talked about is how do we help this process happen? And one of the things that the work-based learning literature and work-based learning conferences, we talk about it from a high school perspective, but it's a really big deal in college as well. Many of you have either have or have had college-age students who have internships and have an opportunity to learn on the job and also get paid. And so one of the reasons that we think it's really important at the high school level to have work-based learning experiences, and we're fortunate to have Erin to help us set those up, is companies with college students are really looking for this, right? It's a win-win for them, right? It's getting to learn about somebody who could become a potential employee, they're allowed to learn about their company. Students get paid, they get to, right? It's a really cheap way to find out whether or not I want to do that sort of job. But what we do know is that the more often students are exposed to it at the high school level, the more likely they are to aspire to do that at the college level. So the more opportunities we can give them to experience learning through work at our level, the more likely it is that they will seek out those sorts of experiences in college. So I just wanted to give you kind of some background of some of the things that we've discussed, everything from academic and career planning to work-based learning, with a whole bunch of folks, and Erin included, and not just look at, it's just about YA numbers. It's more than that, not that they're not important. So Erin will talk about some numbers and some of the things she's been working on, some of the things she will work on. So that's forward.
So these are numbers from the past 2 years. So this year we enrolled 75 students. Last year was 46. So we've increased quite a bit. So the breakdown between the different schools is Craig 43, Parker 23, Arise 4, Rock River Charter School 1, and Rock University High School 4. So last year we only had 3 students at Arise for all the charter schools. So we've like kind of increased there, and hopefully we can continue to increase more. Do you want a breakdown of the different categories that the students are in? Okay. So for agriculture, food, and natural resources, there's 5. Architecture and construction, 8 students. 1 in arts, AV, technology, and communication. 3 in education. 8 in health science. 8 in hospitality and tourism. 1 in human services. 6 in manufacturing. 28 in marketing. And 7 in transportation, distribution, and logistics. Any questions about youth apprenticeship? Okay.
Aaron, just go back one out. Could you just remind them of kind of the hours, the general, you don't have to be specific, like how much time you gotta put in for YA as a student?
Yeah, so they're required to work 450 hours, but they have from June 1st to August 31st of the following year. So they have like 15 months to work that 450 hours. If students do start in the summer, a lot of them get most of their hours then and then can cut back once school starts. And they can work during the school day, beginning half, end of the day, however it kind of works into their schedule, if they choose to. Otherwise, they can still work nights and weekends and still earn their hours and get credit for it. So they get 3 credits for the year once they reach that 450 hours.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are these typically paid apprenticeships?
Yes, actually, they have to be paid.
They have to be
Yep.
paid. That's great. I think, did we hear from a student who had done an apprenticeship in nursing? Does anyone remember, and then decided that they didn't like it? Do you remember that? And then realized, like, this is not for me. Are you recalling that?
Aubrey, I might have mentioned that about.
Well, no,
Aubrey.
it was somebody else,
Okay.
but
Yes.
I mentioned that
maybe you talked
yeah.
about it. Yeah,
So
but
she had a nursing assistant youth apprenticeship, and she put in maybe 200 hours in the first like 2 months, and she realized she hated it. She stuck with the job for like the whole school year, but decided to go into education instead.
well, what a meaningful learning experience she had. Yeah, that's
And-
that just proves how instrumental this is in helping our students understand.
And she was going to take Black Hawk classes for nursing and all of that, and decided not to. So she was able to kind of save money by not doing
Yeah.
that and deciding she didn't like it later.
Yeah, and
So-
she got paid during the process
Yeah.
too. That's fantastic.
You get paid not to take classes. Like,
So for Craftsman with Character, so it's a hands-on learning experience for students in 10th through 12th grade, ideally 10th and 11th graders. So for this pathway, it's specifically focusing on manufacturing and the skilled trades. So it's kind of in a sense job shadowing because they're right on the job sites. They're at the businesses, getting hands-on experience, learning from the experts there. And then, so the character development part, that comes from the 1 day a week class sessions that they have. And those are not taught by teachers, they're by just community members. So the people in Janesville that have maybe worked in the trades, worked in manufacturing, that have life experiences that they can share with the students and give them advice. So our current and past partners, so from the very beginning, so 4 semesters now, it's been J.P. Cullen, United Alloy, Prent, and Blaine Supply. So they've been our consistent business partners. But we've also had Rock Road, SSI, United Alloy, the School District of Janesville, so that's the maintenance side of things. Blaine Supply and Farm and Fleet, so the automotive department at Farm and Fleet. And then we go to Black Hawk Technical College and we learn about their different programs. They get into the welding labs. They learn from the instructors. And what's not on there is we also have financial literacy lessons at Black Hawk Community Credit Union. So they talk about fraud, budgeting, spending plans, debt, all of those kinds of things. But who's for this upcoming fall semester, the businesses that we have committed so far are JP Cullen, United Alloy, Lakeside International Trucks, Rock Road, and new to us this next year will be Hesser Toyota. And then we're still looking for a couple more spots to fill. So it's just kind of still a work in progress with that. So this is the Craftsman Code. So the founder of the Craftsman with Character program, Dave Haytag, this is kind of the code that he thinks that these students should kind of live by and kind of instill in them. It kind of helps work on building that character. So these are the behavior expectations that the students they have to agree to and maintain. But the biggest thing is they need to be there and be on time. So the students get to school by 7:15 so we can leave on a bus by 7:20 every single day. So it's a big commitment to them, but they're doing great. They're showing up on time and they're participating. They're eager to learn. So it's been a great semester so far. So we kind of aim to have 14 students each semester. So this past semester, it was hosted out of Parker, but we also had a Craig student join because she really wanted to be able to participate. And then we have 2 students from Rock University High School as well. So for planning for next fall, it's going to be hosted out of Craig High School, but we're going to invite Craig, Parker, all the charter school students to be involved, whoever wants to. So. But we'll still have to cap it at 14 students. And then I'll also be helping with the Junior Achievement BizTown event. So that's for an event for 5th graders where it's kind of a big, like a reality check type event. I think that is it.
BizTown is the big field trip that the 5th graders look forward to. And in my family, we have a 4th grader, so she is looking forward to BizTown next year. And her older siblings were just, literally, we were in the car talking about it, and they were giving her intel about, well, you don't want to do this. And the word in the street from my son, who did it a couple of years ago, is you definitely do not want to be the manager of the Culvers because you may not get a lunch break that day. So that was on the job learning. It was a really he loved Culvers, but he still loves Culvers. But I mean, I think he really thought he might work there, and then he had a reality check about, I don't know if this is the life for me, Mom. So I am so glad that we've continued this program. It is a beloved field trip for the kids, and I know it's a big deal because it's a bus ride over to Milwaukee because it's not a local experience. So it's just in my own family, we've had a lot of stories told for that. And I would like to share a little bit, do we remember the Craftsman with Character student who joined us? I've seen him 2 or 3 more times. I saw him at the walk through the elementary school for the senior grad day, and there was a scholarship awarded to him at the scholarship night, and he is going to be working for JP Cullen, he tells me. So just is a really great thing for us to remember. That changed his life, and he now has an amazing job. He's graduating, he knows exactly what he's doing, and that is because of Craftsman with Character and that opportunity that it provided him. So these are really awesome programs. I was thinking about all of those business people who are, this is something I'm putting out into the universe. I noticed we don't have any scholarships at the Craig, when we were at Craig for the awards night, there were no business-related scholarships from the business community for those students. And that was the largest amount of youth apprenticeship students, was 28, a really large number. And so I'm just kind of trying to put my my mojo out into the world of sharing the business community. Our business-minded students could use some scholarship love if anyone's thinking of wanting to share that financial support. So if you know someone, send them my way and I can talk about that. Are there any questions? Because I think we've come to the end of this
Yes.
presentation.
Okay, thank you for this. This is such, I love this work. And thank you to all the business owners who are part of this and help make this happen for our students. I said it, I think, last month when we had a similar presentation, but I would not have known, I promise, about any of those youth apprenticeships or anything unless I knew about Crestman with Character, because I know talked to one of the Cullens, but I wish we could do more. Please do more to promote it in the schools. I know what, but maybe it's in the freshmen, that conferences and that kind of thing. But, I mean, blow it up. This is so good. Patrick, blow it. I mean, honestly, people don't know about this. I mean,
If you're, you don't know it off the top of your head, how should they follow CTE on Facebook with you and Chris do?
It's a really long name.
Okay. You can follow,
Yeah.
Aaron and Chris do a really nice job of promoting what we're doing in CTE on a Facebook. Yeah.
I think I follow that.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we do it on the district sites? Socials. We do?
Yeah, because they post it, then we'll share it.
Then you share it? I don't know, or emails home to parents. I don't know what it is, but, or a
No,
brochure.
There's no question we can be better at it.
something.
It's why the ninth grade conferences came up. That's
Yeah,
one
which
of the
is
things we
great.
realized, right?
Yes, yes,
We gotta get this in front of people earlier,
yes.
so that, but we'll
Yeah,
keep
but
trying to
I mean,
get
not
better.
everybody goes to those, so. I don't
Not
know.
yet.
Anyway,
Not yet.
well, anyway, that's my only feedback. Thank you, though.
No,
You do
appreciate
great job. You talked to Julie about Elevate, or the Global Business Academy?
That's Janesville Business Academy.
That's separate from this, is that, I'm just kind
Correct.
of clear, to be clear. Okay, thanks, that's all I wanted to know. What are those marketing, how is that different, the marketing internships here, or young apprenticeships, different than the Elevate program? So that I understand.
So a lot of these students in marketing, it also falls under like sales. So it can include someone working at like Target or Farm and Fleet, something like that. Or there's actually a student, I think she did GBA last year, and now she does marketing for a real estate office. So it can be things like that. So it could be very similar. Maybe this could come after JBA. Once they maybe find the business pathway they like, it could lead to something like that. But I think in JBA they are working with businesses in the community, but they're not getting paid for it. But yeah.
All right, thank you so much for
thank you.
coming and sharing the work that you're doing, and if we have questions, we'll reach out. Great, thank you. Okay, everyone, moving on. AmeriCorps Reading Program Update, Dr. Allison DeGraff, and I feel like we have some maybe extra people to provide intel.
All right. So, good afternoon. Today I want to provide an update on our Reading Core programs that we have in our elementary schools. So our outcomes for the presentation today, just a quick reminder of what is Wisconsin Reading Core, why we use Wisconsin Reading Core as part of our intervention programs that we offer for our students, a little bit about what schools are receiving Reading Core and how they support reading intervention in the schools, and we have a school here today that I'll introduce in a few minutes that will share a little bit about what Reading Core looks like in a school, and then what are our next steps for next year with Reading Core. So again, AmeriCorps is that network of local, state, and national service programs that connects over 70,000 Americans to intensive services to meet community needs